It's finally time to start working on the flooded Miata. If you haven't seen the last video on this car, this was a relatively highly modified, really nice shell Miata that was in a flood. It was in a low-level flood. It was a total loss, fresh water, and I bought it because I knew the previous owner and I knew what was done to the car. And it's a really nice car, definitely worth saving. In the last video, we gutted the interior, took all the moldy, nasty stuff out that was wet. Carpet, seats, the center console, the door panels. We cleaned everything, the inside of the doors, the rockers, floors, and we tested most of the car. So we know what we're up against, and today I'd like to start the reassembly process. I've got some parts in, I've got new carpet, I'd like to fix the blower motor today, relocate the Mega Squirt standalone engine control unit, and see how far we get. It'll be pretty neat to see this thing start to go back together, and I really need to get some of my projects done. The first thing I'm going to do is take the carpet out of the box and lay it out so it can start to take a normal shape instead of being folded up in here. There's the felt. Here's all the carpets. What's nice is it looks like the holes are already in the right spot. That's going to make this a lot simpler. The very first matter of business is to replace this, the blower motor. I'm also going to replace the blower motor resistor. I know how these 90s Mazdas are with these blower resistors, and the extra load from trying to turn a bad motor could have done some damage that may not show itself right away. Since I already had this out of my parts car, I'm going to replace it all at one time with this sub harness, and it should be a pretty straightforward swap. Now, normally you wouldn't have to remove the glove box to replace this, but since I'm replacing the harness, which the connectors are easily accessible with the glove box out of the way, I'm just going to get this out of the way. It's just 2 screws. Next, we'll disconnect this harness here, or just slide it out of this and then disconnect it. Oh, it looks like it's an aftermarket one anyway. So maybe it's not flood water. Maybe it's just a kind of a cheapo aftermarket one. We'll see. Oh, it's been installed with other hardware. Neat. We'll still get it. Resistor. Let go, please. There we go. Oh, that's definitely locked up.
Yep.
So here are the 2 blower motors. This one's completely locked up. And I'm not sure if that's from water. I believe it is. It's been, it's a rebuilt. And they rebuilt it by spray painting it blue. And that end of it is cracked, probably from moisture and water getting in here and perhaps freezing. So we're going to put this used blower motor out of a 90 parts car I have at the shop. We're going to stab that in there, and I'm sure it'll work. Okay, it's all back together. Now let's key on. Yes. Well, that sure was easy. Now we can put the glove box back in it.
Stay.
Oh, I broke my... What? I broke a tool on a Mazda interior bolt. I broke my number 2 Phillips adapter. Neat. Well, the next thing I'd like to do is start with the Mega Squirt relocation, which is the engine controller. I've got this bracket out of a 90 to 93 Miata. I painted it real quick because it had some rust on it. And we're just going to bolt that into the factory studs here. And then the ECU plate goes here. But we're going to need to mount the Mega Squirt to the back side of this. So to do that, I'm going to get this in place and figure out where on this it needs to go. Okay, so that's in place currently, kind of. There's some stuff in the way, but we'll get to that. Well, there's plenty of room on the back side. So now we're going to take the Mega Squirt, we're going to compare it up to this, and kind of get an idea of where to guess to put it. So here's the Mega Squirt. And I think it's going to go... I don't know exactly where I want to put this. Might go right here. If I go on the flat side, yeah, I think I could do that. I think there might be enough room, probably a little further down. Because there's a ton of room back here, but it's hard to see where this is going to fit. This is going to take some strategery. Maybe I'll go right there. I think that'll fit just like so. I'm just going to... Yes, that left good marks. I'm good with that. Let's make some holes in it. Well, I've got one bolt holding the Mega Squirt to this bracket, and it's kind of loosely installed, just kind of a test fit. I want to make sure before I put a whole bunch of holes in this that we're good, you know. I don't know if I can't even see back there, but it is flush. So I think I'm good with that. I'm going to verify all the other holes that are in the right spot, drill them, and then we'll have to figure out a way to mount it that is safe. Well, just to be safe, I'm going to make little dimple holes. So one that's already drilled. Now we need to open them up a little.
Machinist.
Okay, so it sits on the back, just like so. But I don't want it sitting all uneven, so what we're going to do is on the low spots, like these, I'm going to weld a nut on this side of it. And on this side, we'll put a nut there and a nut on that side of it. So that way, I don't want anything to be felt through the carpet, and you'll still be able to unbolt it from this side. You'll have to remove the bracket to get this out, but it won't be too bad, just like the stock computer. So now what I'm going to do is basically put the nuts where they need to be. That sounds wrong. That's not what I mean. I'm going to weld them on upside down so that this has a flatter surface or more surface area to sit on. So basically you're going to weld it in that position. Let's see if we can reshape this. It'll work good enough for what I want to do. Alright, so I just got to weld those two and weld those two. Yeah. The next step that we need to take is to strip this wire harness. The first thing I'm going to do is take all the tape off of it, all this plastic's coming off of it, and we're basically going to take it all the way down to here to just wire. There might be some tape, but that's not the idea.
Will you just let go? I don't want you anymore. Finally.
All right, that's much better. But now I have to leave the wiring for the seat speakers up here. So I'm going to have to strip this out of here so I can move these connectors to the front. It's just time. That's all it is. Okay, so that stays here. And this goes back here. Don't have any more to unravel, just a little. I think we're good here. Now I need to wrap this back up, which I'll do here in just a second. I've got my Mega Squirt mounted to this plate. I've got the data logging for the wideband and the cable for tuning already installed. I've got my harness wrapped up after I removed the stuff for the seat. That'll continue into this area. And now comes the time of trying to get it all to fit in here. I have my doubts. I do need to shorten the vacuum line. I really should put a T into this. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a T into this because I'd like to put a boost gauge into this car. Just because if there's a problem with the wastegate, I'd like to know it. So we'll just snippy-doo-dah. Alright, let's do some vacuum lining. There, and then one side of this will go to the boost gauge, and one side of this will go to the Mega Squirt. There we go. We're going to have to route that up there and up yonder. I guess before I go any further, I really should take the radio bezel and the radio out of it, since I'm going to be mounting the wideband in here. And yes, let's get that apart before we mount this. That way I don't have to do anything twice. Time to remove the tombstone, as they call it.
There's one. Harsh. And there's two.
And there's two Phillips screws up here.
There's one.
Alright, we'll just disconnect this for now, since I have no plans on changing the radio or anything like that. But we do need to get it out of the way.
And this, what is this? Ah.
Okay, now we can get this to a safer place. Before we go stabbing everything back together, I need to run at least the vacuum line to the where the boost gauge will go. It's going to be under the radio. And I'm going to route it over this. Alright, now I think I can start putting this back together. I don't know, this vacuum line needs to go on the other side. Like so. Let's get these connected into this. This is going to be the most fun part by a mile. The idea here is that I coil this around this and it still somehow fits. The reality is it probably is not going to. And it's okay. Alright, vacuum line installed.
Holy crap, it's in.
I'll have to wrap this harness, and then I have a ground here that's for the wideband, which we'll move in a minute. Let's get this bolted down. I think we're good. Now I'm going to remove this cubby and then the radio. Hopefully this doesn't shatter. that. Perfect. All right. Oh, I've got something for this. Really curious to see how nice this is, but I think this is the way here. Okay. So this was supposed to have 2 gauges, 2 gauge pods, and it has 3. So someone's going to have a place for an EGT or oil pressure, and that's going to be the next person's endeavor. Oh, that fits like it's like it was designed for it. It's perfect. All right, so we'll use that gauge. And then for some reason, the wideband is just a little too big. I'm not changing widebands. It just gets to this point where, nope, not happy about that. And can't really blame the manufacturer of either piece here. You can blame me for trying to force it, though. It appears I am stuck. Well, I just spent a few minutes basically making this possible. I didn't really feel like having the camera on for wiring up a illumination bulb for the boost gauge or routing some of the wires for the wideband. That's kind of mundane stuff. So I'm just going to plug everything in. Hopefully I remember where everything goes. And mic? Yes, this is mic. And then we're just going to plug everything in and hope everything fits. In my head, it fits. In real life, we'll see. All right, the last thing is the vacuum line for the gauge of boost. Okay, we are almost there. Well, it is mounted. Everything's got power. Everything seems to work. So now we can put the tombstone back in. Hopefully this fits nice and easy, and I don't have to pull anything back apart. Oh, that looks really nice. I think the first step is to figure out where each of these underlayment pieces goes. So I'm really just guessing here at this point because I'm not sure how this fits in here. There's not a guide, and this car didn't have this before. So that kind of looks like it goes like this. I don't know, everything seems to check out. So does it go this way? Yeah, it's got to go this way. I don't know, that seems to fit pretty okay so far. I think we've got our first successful. I'll have to cut the end of it off, but that seems to fit pretty good. Nope, I was way off. Nope. These don't go there. I think this somehow goes like that. Hey, that seems to check out. It doesn't fit great, but it does fit. And then I suppose those pieces that were nope fit at the way back. How do they do that? Like that. Oh, like so. All right, I think we're ready to put some carpet in. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Kind of getting there. I'm gonna probably have to let this sit overnight in its spot. Probably. The tunnel part's not so great, I'll be honest there. It looks good. Also didn't come with the plastic pieces that secure it to the upper pinch weld. So that's kind of cool. I'll have to steal those from another piece of carpet. I should have kept them from the last one. That was my mistake. Yeah, I'll have to make my own incision for that. Well, this carpet's actually looking not too shabby. It fits pretty well. I think it's a little on the thin side. I think the looped carpet, the loops are a little too far spread apart. You can kind of see how thin they are in this area, but it does fit pretty well, and I'm sure it'll get better with time, especially if I park this car outside in the sun. It just took a lot of massaging to get it into place, whereas the factory carpet is it's thicker, and it would probably be more work to get into place, but again, I felt like new carpet would be better than power washing the moldy old stuff. I think that's how this goes, right? Yeah, I think so. May need a little trimming with the roll bar. Maybe not. Eh, it's fine. Fine. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I think it's time to get the center console in. The shift boot on this console is not in the best shape, so I'm likely going to pull this back out at some point and place it. What have I done to myself? Well, this part looks like it's going to be plenty fun. So I have to line everything up with everything else. The front isn't too bad. It's the rest of it. It's not really a good cutout for the parking brake. I felt like there's another piece of carpet. Let's go look. No. Oh, wait. There was some more stuff in there, but no more carpet. Got a bunch of clips. That was nice. Oh, it's got instructions. Well, that's fun. Let's see, did I do anything wrong? Let's see here. No? Well, that would have really helped. It's fine. Okay, I see kind of how this is going to go. Oh, I think I got one of the screws lined up. Yes. The other one?
No.
Oh, by golly. Jiminy Christmas. Would you look at that? Both screws in their home. Now, what about this one? Oh, yes. That one seems unhappy for some reason, but that's a later problem. Okay, now we have two screws at the front. Coming out pretty good. I still don't really enjoy whatever's going on in this area. I feel like there's supposed to be another piece of carpet here, and they didn't give it to me. And the last thing I'd like to do, 6-speed shift knob. This was courtesy of Jason. He dropped off some extra parts. He had this knob for the car that never made it onto the car. Looks like it's got a little wear, but it's perfectly fine, and it's an OEM knob, which is what I like. That tickles that fancy.
Yes.
There is still a very long way to go on this car, but we are chiseling away. We've got the carpet in it. The center console's back in it. I need to finish installing the carpet. So I need to clip some white, they're like retaining clips that sit on the edge of the OEM carpet. Unfortunately, I threw away the old carpet, but I think I have some bad carpet at work. So I'll take those, attach them to this carpet so it holds the edge of the carpet to the sill, like factory. And then we have to do door panels, some seats, and some small trim pieces. It's really not so bad. And then once the rest of the interior is done and I can drive the car, I'm going to get it in the air. We're going to change the transmission fluid, change the differential fluid, and see what else is wrong with the car. I don't really think there's going to be too much wrong with this. This car was regularly driven, so I'm excited. I can't wait to actually drive this car, but that'll be in the next video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I love all the comments, all the feedback, and even the criticism. I love it all, and I'll catch you on the next one.